Bonsoir on South Africa tonight and welcome back to eNCA. The Blitzboks head to Australia for the second World Rugby Sevens Series of the 2023 international calendar. South Africa are three-time winners of the events down under. And after their loss in New Zealand, they are looking to redeem themselves sooner rather than later. I'm joined in studio by former Springbok Sevens player Thobela Mdaka. Good evening, Mr. Mdaka. Great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Arthur, for having me.
Fantastic. Let's speak about how shambolic New Zealand was for the Springbok Sevens, and in particular how it shows that, they've been struggling to get consistent results. What will be the difference in Australia?
I think they actually do need to look down deep at what happened in New Zealand. Consistency is very key at the moment. If you look at the top 5 teams, every single team has won at least one tournament, except for New Zealand and USA.
Wow.
And those two teams are number 1 and 2 in the log at the moment.
Wow.
So that shows a lot on how far consistency goes.
I mean, you say that, you speak about consistency. Stats and records are completely on the side of South Africa, on the side of the Blitzbok, in particular in Sydney. They are 3-time winners, as I mentioned at the top of just the introduction to that live interview. Do you think we can anticipate an upset this coming weekend?
An upset is definitely on the cards, if anything.
From this group?
From this group.
Are you sure?
Like I said, they've won a tournament. So the only issue there is the consistency. Okay. So if they can be consistent, and go as far as they can. Last week, they were unfortunate to lose in the quarterfinals. But before the quarterfinals, they were unbeaten until then. And then again, they faced Fiji, which is also a team that's trying to pick up, after their couple of losses. So it's going to be a very interesting tournament. But I do think, like you said, we're 3-time winners. If anything, we are one of the favorites to win that tournament.
Mr. Mdaka, Captain Soviwe Soyizwapi spoke about the players owning up to their mistakes. But do you not think that there might be additional factors, maybe matters off the field that are contributing to a lack of positive results?
More than anything, it's the lack of consistency, and if you can't be consistent, as a team, it will always boil down, and trouble the players as much as the coaches and the captain, trying to figure out where are we going wrong, what do we need to improve, and one of the things that do happen in cases like that, you focus too much on a different area, and then you lose focus on where your core is as a team. That team does have a strong base. They just need to find themselves and just keep going.
How long will it take them to find themselves? Because now the spotlight again is on the post-Neil Powell era. So, can we say that the Sandile Ngcobo Sevens rugby philosophy is still in the infancy stage and we need to give him a bit of time?
He definitely needs a bit of time. But more than anything, I think he needed a little bit more support, maybe from a different channel. At the moment, there's Sandile Ngcobo and Philip Snyman, who are both under, Neil Powell. So currently, they are using that regime. And I feel that someone needed to break that because now no one is going to be challenging to say this player, not that player.
Yes.
They are two similar types of players and coaches, rather. So that does make a huge difference, on the thought process of the coaching.
Let's speak about the development of Sevens rugby. We're not as strong as our international counterparts. What will it take to have a strong domestic league so that we're able to win more majors, as you did say in one of your answers?
When it comes to development, South Africa, when it comes to sevens, I think we're far apart, compared to any other country. We have a development process that has been working and has been proven. If anything, it's just a matter of going back to the drawing board and trying to figure out where are we going wrong? Do we need to, try and look for different type of players? Do the coaching staff need to try and find, where can they find that
pool of talent?
100%.
Yeah.
The talent is there. We just need to find it again and, nurture it properly.
But most of our sevens players, do the migration or make the migration to 15s rugby. A few rugby critics saying that sevens rugby doesn't pay. Is that something to consider?
Not necessarily, because most of the other, countries do the same thing as well. New Zealand has a similar setup. They still, performing at the top of their game. Yes, they will dip here and there, but they are able to go search for those players again, put them through the system. Once they're done, they venture off to 15s. There is money in rugby. There is money in sevens as well. Yes, I think more than anything, it's not the money factor that pushes the players to the 15s, but the platform of 15s. 15s has always been regarded as, the bigger game or the bigger sport when it comes to rugby. Every South African, when they grow up, they dream of playing for the Springbok 15 side. And that's exactly what's happened with the sevens.
Oh, thank you very much, Thobela Mdaka, former Springbok Sevens player, just speaking on the Blitzboks. Next assignment at the weekend, they're in Sydney, and they start up their match against a African relative in Kenya. All right, that's sports on South Africa tonight. More coming up. Top of the hour.